Hey guys, here is lesson 11.12, find the volume of composed figures. So this one we are going to be finding the volume of rectangular prisms that are combined. So these are like regular prisms that are kind of like squished together because not all of the prisms that we're going to see are just regular rectangular prisms. Sometimes they're going to be in different shapes. So we're going to use different ways to find the volume of the figure. So it says the shape of the right is a composite figure. It is made up of two rectangular prisms that are combined. How can you find the volume of the figure? So one thing we can do, and I will tell you this is probably going to be the easiest way to do it, is to break apart the solid figures into two rectangular prisms. So the first thing we would do is find the length, width, and height of each prism. So I'm going to go ahead and label it. This one's going to be prism 1, and then this one's going to be prism 2. And then once you find the volume of both of the different prisms, you would add those two volumes together to find that combined volume, or that composite volume. All right, so the first one we're going to do this green one. So this was shape 1. So we have to find the length, width, and height of each prism. So with this one, we see that this right here is 4 inches. But it doesn't tell us it's 4 inches. But if we look, it's the same length right here, which is 4 inches. So that's why we would label this 4 inches. But when we look right here from all the way at the top to all the way at the bottom, this whole thing right here is 6 inches. So now I need to find out what the length of this part is right here. Well, I know if I look right here, the height of this one is 2 inches. So to right here, it's 2 inches. And I know from right here to here is 6 inches. So I need to figure out what is 6 whole inches minus this 2 little inches. So I know that 6 minus 2 is going to give me 4. So this side length is going to be 4 inches. So we have 4 inches on the side. And now we would have the volume of this one. So now let's find the volume of both of those and then we'll combine them. So the length of this one is 4, our width is 2, and our height is 4. So I know that 4 times 2 is 8 times 4 is 32. So this one was 32 inches. That was the volume of the first rectangular prism. And then we have the volume of the second one. So we have our length is 10, our width is 4, and our height is 2. So 4 times 10 is 40, times 2 is 80. So then all we would do at this point is just add our volumes together. So we have 32 inches plus 80 inches, which would give us a grand total of 112 inches. But they're not regular inches, remember, because we're finding the volume. They are 112 cubic inches. All right. This is another way you could use to do this. This is actually subtraction. So what you would do is you would find, so you're going to pretend like this is one figure, okay? And then what you would do is subtract this little inside part that you know is not there. So we're going to find the greatest possible volume. So the length for this one was 10 inches. The width for this one is 4 inches. And then the height for this one is 6 inches. So if this was all shaded in one shape, we would have to find the volume of that. So we have 40 times 6 equals 240. So the volume is 240 cubic inches. But we have to take out this middle little area. So again, we don't know what this is, but we know from this end to this end, it was 10. And from right here to right here, if we look back up here, that was 2. So that's how they have their 8, because we know that 2 plus 8 equals 10 altogether. So our length for this one was 8 inches. Our width, again, is going to be 4 inches. And our height is also 4 inches. So now we're going to combine that to find this inside part. So now we have 8 times 4 is 32. 32 times 4 is 128. So then once you have all that together, you would subtract. So instead of adding the two shapes together, we would take the total possible shape, which was 240 cubic centimeters, or sorry, cubic inches, and you would subtract 128 cubic inches. I think I said centimeters, it's inches. And then once you subtract that, you would be left with 112 cubic inches. So the volume of the composite figure is 112 cubic inches. It doesn't matter which way you do it, whatever way you feel like it's easier for you to understand it, that's the way I want you to do it. I typically go to this one. This one for me is easier because it's easier to add it than subtract it, but that's just what I like to do. So, and sometimes you can't figure it out. Sometimes it's easier, like when there's 3 parts of it. This one is a little bit easier to just add all of the volumes together. So for this one, I have 1 part, I have 2, and I have 3. So I have 3 rectangular prisms that I have to find the volume for. So let's go ahead and find the volume of one of those. So this one I have, my height is 4, my width is 4, my width is 3, and how long it is 5. So I know that 4 times 3 is 12, times 5 is going to be 60. So the volume of this first box is 60. Now, if I look at this one, I know that my length is 5. My height, so from this part to this part, it tells me is 8. So this is 8 feet. And then I have my width, again, is going to be 5 feet. So I know that 5 times 8 is 40, times 5 is 200. And then my last one, I'm going to find the volume for. So my height is 2 feet because from right here to here they said was 2 feet. They're not always going to label it, so sometimes you're going to have to do a little bit of digging. Sometimes they'll just tell you straight out. Okay, so I know that my length or my width is 5. Now I have to figure out the width again, which was 5. Wait, no. 2 times 5 times, well, we don't know what this one is. So we're looking for this part right here. I don't know what that one is. That's why I was like, wait, what? So what we have to do is we know from right here to right here, this is 12 feet, right? Because that's what it tells us, 12 feet. So from right here to right here is 5 feet. From right here to right here is 3 feet. So I have 5 plus 3 is 8. So I have to figure out, how do I get from 8 feet to 12 feet? Well, I'd have to jump up 4 feet. So right here to here is 4 feet. So that would be 4 feet. Okay, so then again, multiply. I know that 4 times 2 is 8, times 5 is 40. And then I would add up all of my volumes together. So I have 60 plus 40 plus 200. So that's going to give me 100 plus 200, which gives me 300. So it'd be 300 cubic feet. Hopefully I didn't go too fast. If I did, I want you to go back and rewatch it before you go on to the next one, just to make sure you understand where I got each of those pieces from. Most of them were already written there. The only one that we had to really dig for was this last little bit where it was the length. And we had to use, they gave us part of it, but they didn't give us the whole amount. So it's almost like it's a puzzle. Okay? So let's go ahead and look at this one. Number 1, find the volume of the composite figure. So again, I'm going to label them. This is rectangular prism 1. This is rectangular prism number 2. I like to break it up like that. That way I know what I'm doing. So here's my first one. I have my length, which is right here, 4, times my height, or my width is 2, because it already gives me that right here. And my height, well, it tells me from right here to right here is 5. That's not telling me what goes right here, but I know from right here to here is 2, so this has to be 3, because if it's from the top to the bottom is 5, this little bit is 2. If this is 2, then this has to be 3. So times 3. I know that 8 times 3 equals 24, so this one is 24 cubic inches. Now let's find the volume of the second rectangular prism. So this one, I have a length of 8, a width of 4, and a height of 2. So I know this is 8 times 8, which gives me 64. Now, what do I do with that 64? I add them. So now I have 64 plus 24 equals 4 plus 4 is 8, 6 plus 2 is 8, so it would be 88 inches cubed, or 88 cubic inches. Either way is the correct answer. You can write it as this or as this. All right, this next one, again, I'm going to break it up so that it's 2 rectangular prisms. Sometimes they're not going to break it up for you, so you have to do a little bit of thinking to figure out how to break it up. All right, so I'm just going to break it up right here. This is 1, this is 2, and I'm going to go ahead and put 1 over here. Let me do 1 first, okay? So I know my length is 3, my width is 2. Now I have to see how tall it is from here to here, which tells me it is 1. So 1. So I know 3 times 2 is 6. Times 1 equals 6. So the volume of the first one is 6 cubic centimeters. Now let's find the volume of the second one. So I have a length of 7. So this is 2. Length of 7, a width of 6, and a height again of 1. Equals, so that's 42 times 1 equals 42 centimeters cubed. Now, am I done? Absolutely not, because I have to add them up. So now I have 42, let's just add them together, plus 6 equals 48 centimeters cubed, or 48 cubic centimeters. Both of those would work. All right, so what I want you to do for the next one is I want you to try to do this one on your own. I'm going to give you a hint. Breaking it right here is going to be the easiest thing to do. So now that you've broken it apart, figure out what's the volume of the first one, what's the volume of the second one, and then add them up. So go ahead, pause the video, work it out, and then play it when you're ready to check your work. All right, if you got 52 cubic feet, you are correct. Yay! All right, so let's do one more. All right, again, pause the video and then check your work. I am going to break it apart. The way I'm going to do it, I'm going to break it apart right here. It doesn't matter which way you break it apart as long as it gets broken apart and you figure it out. All right, and this is what I got, 108 cubic centimeters or 108 centimeters cubed. Both are correct. So what I'm wanting you to do is I want you to go ahead and let me pull it back some. I want you to do 5, 6, 7, 8, flip to the back, do number 9, and then I want you to also do number 13 at the bottom. Okay, once you're done with that, go ahead and get your lesson check done, turned in. If you have questions, please, please, please make sure you ask me so that I can help you, because I know this is a tricky concept, so make sure you ask for help. All right, bye guys.